Hi everyone, welcome back to Spooky Crime Time. When I come across scary videos, you know, I have to share them with you. Sometimes it's interesting, historic stuff, weird science, of course the paranormal, and just straight up creepy. This week, I want to talk about some specific cases in particular that I've come across recently. One of them I just came across this morning, so I don't have all the information, but I will share as much as I can with you today. So go grab your snacks and your favorite soda pop or water. We're like a healthy, spooky crime time fanatic. And let's get right into it. Susan Hawkins is a mother who, from what I can see, has a disabled son and a disabled, nonverbal daughter. As we've seen time and time again, people exploit their young, vulnerable children online. In this case, Susan Hawkins is exploiting her disabled and nonverbal daughter, Melanie. In my opinion, of course. Most of the videos I've come across seem to be from 2023. Susan Hawkins claims that she is not exploiting her grown disabled children, but instead is bringing awareness as many people that have come across her lives have called her out on her aggressive behavior toward her daughter. The first video I came across of this family showed Melanie with a distraught and uncomfortable facial expression. Since I didn't really know what her disability was at this time, I thought maybe that's just how her facial expression was all the time. Now, I don't want to ever come across as insensitive. I am touching on these videos this week with the most sensitivity and empathy as I can possibly express. But I just want to point out what I think, as well as that's what also makes this video. So in this first clip, I'm going to show you a snippet of debunking my original thought of Melanie and her facial expressions. In this first video clip of Melanie, her mother Susan is giving her a haircut while streaming live, and it's the first clip I've come across where Melanie seems to have an expression of happiness and enjoyment as her mom cuts her hair. You guys see it too, right? Melanie is smiling, her eyebrows are relaxed, her eyes look at ease. She looks happy. You can see it in her face. Now, watch how Susan behaves as soon as she realizes Melanie's joy on her face.
Mel was enjoying the experience at first. That quickly changed.
Did you see the moment Melanie dropped her smile? As soon as Susan gently slaps Melanie, literally wiping her smile away, Melanie drops her smile. She may be nonverbal, but the emotional intelligence is definitely there. Susan seems to be triggering a conditioned response that can be happening off camera as well as on camera to make it seem normal. Susan smacks Melanie's face, and although it seems like she didn't hit her hard, Melanie's smile dropping alone is no accident. This is definitely, in my opinion of course, happened before and maybe not as gently. Melanie knows that she must withdraw from expressing her happiness for her own safety. People in the comments of this video were saying, "Poor Mel is just a girly. Did you see how happy she was when she was getting her bangs cut? My gosh, I feel so awful for her trapped there." Another person said, "Maybe it's just me, but Mel's eyes scream, 'Help me somebody.'" Now, let's keep watching this clip from their live stream.
Calling Susan out on being too aggressive.
I'm not too aggressive with her, guys. Are you here? Can you fucking feel it? Do you think maybe it might look a little different on camera than, you know, how she's feeling? Been doing this for her whole life. Pretty sure I know what I'm doing. Alright, if you think I'm being too aggressive, go F off. Get off my page. That was not being aggressive. When she moves all over the place, you gotta do what you gotta do. Someone calls CPS. Fuck you. Block account. Alright, start blocking all those a-holes. And if you think that you need to call CPS on me because I'm brushing hair off of my daughter or trying to get the hair out of her face, fuck you! You obviously don't have kids and don't know how to handle them. Alright, we're gonna cut Nick's hair. So if you want to be a fucking troll, Go get yourself out of here.
So you took my neck?
Huh? Do I what?
You said you took my neck?
Trying to choke your neck? No. That's Nick. That's as loose as I can get it. You've gained weight.
Yeah.
Well,
She weight.
it's lose some weight and it won't feel so tight. Alright?
Notice how she is not as aggressive with Nick.
As much as I would love to go into detail about each and every action, maybe I can do a deeper dive in the future, but something is definitely wrong and we can see it in Melanie's expression. Apparently though, Susan doesn't even have beds or rooms for her kids and she rents out the 2 bedrooms in their home to get extra money. I'm not sure how true that is, as I've only discovered this family this morning, but from her most recent posts, Susan has not shown Melanie at all in at least 2 months, and even that last video could be from earlier times. She's only been uploading videos about home renovations, and the only person that can be seen in her most recent videos is her son. In this next clip, you can visibly see that Melanie is upset or frightened by either something that just happened off camera or by what she's afraid of coming next. She's shaking, breathing heavily, and has a terrified look in her eyes.
So get over yourself. Turn around. Come on. Turn so that I can get in here and feed you. Turn.
You're my dad, kid.
What?
You're my dad, kid.
Is Mel okay? Yeah, why wouldn't she be? That's toasty.
You got it. Mother got it.
Just stop. Yeah, her name is Melanie, and she's a girl.
I'm a boy.
See, she's got boobies.
Yeah, like 4X. There, sit down.
I think she was trying to go to the ladies' room.
No, not yet.
No.
She just, when I get up, she gets up.
Oh, okay.
That's why when I need something, I usually ask Nick. Otherwise, I gotta go chase her down and get her to sit down with you.
Oh, come on, are you serious? Come on, no. If she didn't want to be here, she could get up and leave. That's her consent. And this is called spreading awareness. It's not exploiting.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor and just walk her over there? Come on. Let's get up. Get up, get up, get up. Do I have a routine? No.
In this next video, Susan nips at Melanie's chin because apparently Melanie was falling asleep, but according to Susan, she was just dozing off.
Guys, she's not falling asleep, she's just zoning out. Right, institutionalized. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Guys, she's fine. If I see one more person ask, is she tired, is she falling asleep, I'm gonna block your fucking ass.
People in the comments are saying, that poor little girl, I can't with this app. They let the most ridiculous things come on here and I'm sure my post will be blocked. Another person said, no, she was definitely falling asleep, which it does look like Melanie was tired and trying to fall asleep. In another video, her son also tells Susan that he's tired. The most appalling part is the way Susan gets so annoyed when people are concerned about her daughter, or even ask any questions about her. It gives narcissist for sure. As I'm sure you've noticed by now, Melanie rocks back and forth a lot. So I decided to look into why this happens. Apparently, the rocking back and forth can be a self-soothing or a trauma response, especially if it's intensified when her mother is around her. This can be due to 3 reasons. This can be an autonomic nervous system response for Melanie, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So Melanie may be stuck in a constant state of fear or hypervigilance around her mother. The rocking back and forth is a way for her to regulate that. It's common in neurodivergent individuals, especially those who have faced prolonged emotional and or psychological stress. Another thing it could be is conditioned anxiety. If Susan frequently mocks, controls, or even physically intimidates Melanie off the camera, Melanie may associate her mother's presence with discomfort, anxiety, and or pain. The rocking becomes an automatic coping mechanism, her only way to find some small sense of peace. And another reason could be that she has no safe emotional outlet. As a nonverbal individual with disabilities, Melanie may have no safe way to express distress or communicate her feelings. Rocking becomes her language of distress, a silent scream for safety. Melanie shows in different ways that she is uncomfortable, upset, and distraught. But her mother, Susan, believes that nothing is wrong. She has gone on to mock Melanie, dehumanize her, and even go as far as to say that Melanie cannot even feel. I'm going to show you these clips now, then we will come back and talk about them. I will warn you now that these clips are extremely disturbing.
How do I know if something hurts her? I don't. She doesn't feel pain, guys. People with autism, they don't feel pain like we do. Courtney, I don't know. They just don't. When they do feel it, it's like, oh, that hurts, but they don't cry, they don't get upset or anything. Your nephew has autism and he feels pain?
It works.
Well, that's unusual. Can you say my name? Can you say Mom? Can you say I love you, Mom? Can you say I hate you, Mom? Can you say shut up, Mom? Say something. Say I hate you, Mom. Say I love you, Mom. Say shut up, Mom. Say screw you, Mom. Say leave me alone, Mom. What does she drink? Why does it matter? What's Mel's favorite food? I don't really know. Melanie, what's your favorite food tonight? Or what's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? She's not gonna tell me. I'm rude to people? Okay. Well, bye.
I want to touch a bit on why Susan mocks Melanie during live streams. When viewers ask about Melanie, and we can clearly see that Susan gets irritated and pretends to ask Melanie the questions they're asking about her. Even though she clearly knows that Melanie is nonverbal, this can serve for several dark purposes. Susan can be publicly manipulating and mocking Melanie. She could be mocking her daughter's disability under the guise of humor, playing to an audience that might not fully grasp the cruelty, which, by judging the comments on her actual page's videos, she does have a fan base. But the mockery is a subtle form of dehumanization. The next thing I want to mention is that Susan can be trying to maintain the martyr mother persona. By highlighting the fact that Melanie has an inability to respond, Susan reinforces herself as the selfless caregiver. This can generate sympathy, donations, or validation, whatever sick thing she's looking for. Mocking Melanie cloaked in jokes keeps her daughter passive, and it keeps the audience focused on Susan's struggles. Again, narcissistic tendencies. Lastly, Susan's exposing her control through the humiliation. Pretending to ask Melanie things she can't answer is a micro-abuse tactic. It communicates to Melanie and to others that Melanie's not in control. She's not respected, and she's not really there. This reinforces the power imbalance. As far as Susan's false information about autistic beings not being able to feel, she is strongly misleading people to believe something that is not true. Melanie's expressions clearly show that she can feel, emotionally and physically. The way she responds and acts accordingly quickly at her mother's touch shows that she clearly doesn't want negative consequences, so she does as her mother expects. Again, this is my personal opinion after researching and bringing you this video. I would also like to mention here that autistic people may actually have altered pain sensitivities, so Melanie could possibly feel pain much more than a person that is not autistic, or her body's response can be delayed to feeling pain. These are actually distinguished as hypersensitivity and hyposensitivity. Nonverbal autistic people might not be able to express pain in ways typical to neurotypical individuals. No crying, no screaming, or saying ouch, but they definitely do still feel. Susan claiming her daughter doesn't feel pain because she's autistic, it's not just wrong, it's dangerous. Autistic people do feel pain, but many of them express it differently. Some may cry or scream, others may go silent or stim, such as the rocking and the hand placements close to her chest, as Melanie does in a lot of the videos. Some may not react right away at all, but that doesn't mean that they don't hurt. Saying someone can't feel pain because they're autistic isn't just a lie. It's a license to ignore suffering. And when it's a mother saying it in front of a live stream audience, it's something we all need to question. As viewers continue watching Susan's live streams, a pattern starts to emerge. One that's even more unsettling than her own behavior. Whenever Melanie's brother enters the frame, the mood visibly shifts. Melanie, who is already nonverbal and withdrawn, becomes tense. Her facial expressions change, her smile disappears, and yet she can't get away. When the brother, who appears to have Down syndrome and is very verbal, very present, and fully aware of his surroundings, sometimes his interactions with Melanie cross a line. He touches her without permission, flicks at her head, he gets too close, he's invading her space. And Melanie, she seems visibly infuriated. Her face turns bright red and has the expression of anger on her face. She rocks, but she doesn't move. This might be her everyday reality. For someone like Melanie, disabled, nonverbal, and likely without the emotional tools or protection she needs, freezing is a trauma response. She's not agreeing, she's definitely not okay with it. She just doesn't feel safe enough, or maybe even allowed to say no, to leave, or to fight back, with the fear that there might be consequences from her mother. And the most heartbreaking part, her mother is right there, watching it all. I can't imagine the awful things Melanie endures off camera. And here are a few clips her mother has posted defending her son.
Why am I rude? Why are people asking rude questions like, about her period and stuff? Well, I told y'all she's a lot more talkative around her menstrual cycle, and she's active right now, so that's why she's talkative.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? What, did y'all wake up and decide to come in here and fucking harass me? He wasn't hitting her on the head, dumbasses.
Was not.
Alright, guys, I hate to say this, but I can't deal with these. You did snap your finger, but no, you did not hurt her. Armani's talking about when Nick had his hand on Melanie's knee. I already got rid of her. They're making a big deal about his hand being on her knee on One Live, saying it was up in her crotch. They need to open up their eyes and get over it.
Anyway, sorry.
Does it look like he's hurting her? No, he's not hurting her. They call Adult Protective Services and report it and all kinds of bullcrap. You're right. Nick does not think in that way. He does not think in a I don't even know if I can say it, in an intimate way. He doesn't think that way. How do I know he doesn't think that way? Because I'm his mom. Yeah, on her knee. He. On her freaking knee. Oh, that's terrible. And the essence or the the smell or whatever goes up. Like the old Vicks ones used to be. But alright, you need to start blocking these people. They're coming in droves. I'll help.
Now, in the first clip I just showed of Susan talking about Melanie's womanly cycle, there was a comment that really stood out to me. It said, "Why has no one questioned? She's more talkative on her period. Being in relation to her brother possibly abusing her, but not doing so during this time. Maybe she's more talkative because she has a break from the excess stress of what he does." Another commenter said, "He knows exactly what he's doing. He moves his hand when his mom turns around. He definitely touches her in more sinister ways." Then, when Susan states that her son doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't have intimate feelings, a commenter wrote, "She's lying because my uncle had Down syndrome and he's the main one that SA'd me as a child." It's easy to assume that abuse always happens behind closed doors. But what's deeply disturbing and increasingly common is when abusers invite the world in and broadcast it live, hoping to get a pretty penny. When a parent mistreats a disabled child online, or any child online, it's no longer a private horror. It becomes public content. And somehow, that makes it worse. Because now it's not just abuse. It's a performance, a persona, a calculated act meant to shape a narrative. Look at me, look what I deal with, feel sorry for me. Or even for the children thinking that it's normal because the world now sees it and nothing is being done. But behind that ring light and those comments full of sympathy, there's a child silently begging for help in ways most people won't notice. A flinch, a fake laugh, a rocking body trying to cope. We share these stories because victims like Melanie can't speak for themselves. Because countless people are watching these live streams and they feel uneasy, but they don't know why. So if you've ever watched something online and felt in your gut that something wasn't right, trust that instinct. Ask questions. Speak up, because the only thing more terrifying than abuse happening in the shadows is abuse hiding in plain sight.
Nope, she's not going to use a speech device. First off, people with autism, they don't make eye contact like you and I or other people do. So a device in where they have to look at something ain't going to work.